You know, hello everyone. Welcome to Trek Cannon. I'm gonna try to do this episode through the lens of Let That Be Your Last Battlefield. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the world today. All right. It seems, and it's a lot of people who notice this. It seems that whenever you turn on your feed, go to one of your social media outlets, go to one of your media outlets to figure out what's going on in the world, right? There is nothing but showcases of us at our worst. The biases presented towards and bigotries and stuff presented towards marginalized and minority groups. All right, is on full display. Now, I'm older. Okay, I'm a older guy. So when I was a kid, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. When I was a kid, the first time that I had ever been called the N word, let me tell you when that was. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I don't remember it like it was yesterday because um it hurt me so bad, it derailed me or nothing like that. It was just the interaction itself was memorable. I had to be about 12 or 13 years old, probably a little younger than that. I had this older cousin, man. One of those older cousins that was a skateboarder, man. College type. One of those guys, right? So listen to Metallica. He's a cool cat, right? He the one that got me into heavy metal. But anyway, um, he had took me downtown one day because I wanted to learn how to skateboard, right? He was teaching me how to tic tac side to side. And we were skating down the street, and it was this homeless white lady on a bench, right? She was talking to herself. She had some kind of, at the time we just called them crazy people, but nowadays they just, call them, mentally disabled. So this woman had some mental issues and everything, and we was skating and everything, and as we came across the street approaching her bench, right, she looked at us, right, and she looked dead at me, and she said, "Get away from me, you ends," right? Now, me, I was surprised. I was like, "Wow, you know, this lady called me the end, and I was about to feel a certain kind of way for it, right?" But luckily, I had my cousin there who was a little older, right, and he was basically like, "Look, don't let that bother you. One, it's just a word. Two, look at who the word is coming from. This woman is a homeless woman on the bench in the heat in a city of Chicago downtown. She has nothing to her name, right? She has nothing to her name, not even a newspaper, to hold. But she still finds it in herself to feel so superior, right? To call us the N word, something derogatory, meaning that she felt she was better than us. Even in the state that she was in, she felt that she was better than us, right? So my cousin pointed that out to me. And I remember saying to myself, oh, yeah, like, you're right. Why would I get mad at this woman who has no roof over her head or nothing, calling me or feeling about me a certain kind of way? This woman has no bearing on my life. She has no bearing on my life. All right. As I got older, all right, um, I would inevitably join a job market, and there would be a lot of situations, especially in the field that I was in, because the first field that I went in was to the military, and let's not talk about the military of the '90s because they didn't have that thing about not flying the Confederate flag. I've been past many rooms that had Confederate flags, huge Confederate flags on the wall. You know what I mean? So let's not talk about that. But please don't get me wrong when I talk about the military that way, because a lot of the good friends that I had to this day were soldiers. You know what I mean? So that was one of the best experiences of my life. But as I got older, right, I started to see how these systems play into, you know, the impact of my life in existence. Okay. And it's different when you have a person that's on a bench, homeless person who has nothing to their name, who has no bearing over your life, who has these feelings, as opposed to, say, when a supervisor or a manager or a police officer or a doctor or a judge or a teacher, right, has this disdain, all right, has this feeling towards you, because these people can affect your life. They can affect the trajectory of your life, all right? So these are things that I was kind of curious about. I've gotten older, and as time has gone forward, technology has gotten a lot better. You know, social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, the internet as a whole has had the ability and the effect of bringing the world and the people in it into a closer knit society. But the thing that I find interesting about this dichotomy is that racism is still getting worse. You know what I mean? Like, how is that possible? How is it possible that people are being armed with more information at their fingertips, right? To quell the ignorance, to quell the stupidity and stuff like that. Yet, it's getting worse. People getting into white supremacist organizations has increased. They say it was because of Obama, but Obama hasn't been president for a minute, and yet they still increase. Every time I turn on my TV, these situations and instances still increase. I hear a lot of videos about people and their perceptions, and when I be listening, I be thinking, oh man, why is this 60, 70, 80-year-old person making videos? And then I look and it's a kid that has these views. Someone my son's age that has these views. How is this still prevalent in this age of information and anti-ignorance, right? And so it got me thinking about Let That Be Your Last Battlefield from the original series of Star Trek, where Lokai and Bill was the last two of their species on this whole planet. And racism had destroyed them all the way down to the last two people. Now, I wanted to think of it like waves, all right? Waves, because this is the only way I can explain this discrepancy in information versus the ignorance of racism. This is the only way I can explain it, all right? I'm not going to say, well, people just want to be racist. Too simple. People just want to support white supremacy and the systems that govern it or that perpetuate it. Nah, it's too simple. It's too simple. I wanted to think about it Star Trek wise. I wanted to give it a science thought process. This is what I've determined. Black people talk about soul. Look at my shirt, man. Black people talk about soul a lot. The soul is talked about in religion. The essence of us that is beyond our physical. All right, the part of us that's supposed to go, depending on what you believe, the part of us that's supposed to move on past the mortal coil. All right, some believe in reincarnation, some believe in heaven and hell, some believe that we become part of the earth. But people usually have a belief. Some people believe that we just go into non-existence. All right, this is the thing. Soul. What is soul? We talk about soul when it comes to dancing, soul when it comes to talk about music, walking, swag, all of these things, flossing, all of these things has to do with soul. All right. Let me tell you what I think soul is scientifically from a Star Trek perspective. All right. Soul is having a communion with the universe. All right. What do I mean by that? So we know that that the basic essence of what all things is in our reality, it's not matter, something that you could touch, right? It's waves, all right? Waves, all right? What is the thing of waves? Waves have a frequency. It's their rhythm, all right? The rhythm of the wave, okay? Now, all of our universe is based on interactions of waves, okay? How these waves commingle and cohabitate and how they boost each other and how they resonate, all these types of things. Now, if you listen to black people music, you know what I mean? If you listen to black people music, all right, it has a rhythm. Everything we do has a rhythm, okay? Whether we walk has a rhythm. How do we talk has a rhythm, okay? How we dance has a rhythm. When we go into war, all right, our war songs, had rhythm. We bring drums. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what we do, it has a rhythm. Okay. Now, this rhythm interacts with the world, man. It interacts with the world greatly. You know, it's a harmonious thing. But you do know that you have waves that are disruptive. Okay. Waves that's only purpose is to be disruptive. They disrupt other waves. Okay. They eliminate other waves. Okay. That's the only thing they can do. All right. No matter what you try to do with these waves, you got to keep them out the system. All right. So, what do I mean by this? All throughout history, all right, all throughout history, the individuals on this planet have been trying to get along with each other, do certain things, create trade. All right. Yes, there's been conflicts, there's been wars. All right. There's been fights. All right. Yes, there's been people who've had people as slaves, servants. All right. But in all of recorded history, okay, it's only been one group as a whole in general, all right, who's been very disruptive to whatever system that they're introduced to. All right. Whatever peoples they're introduced to, whatever environments that they are introduced to. All right. Space used to be able to look up at the stars and see all kind of stuff. It's all kind of garbage in space. All right. Garbaging up space. Like the planet, garbaging up the planet. The people, garbaging up the people. All right. What kind of people would see a system that causes everyone around them, even them to a certain degree, harm and continue it? What people would look at their kids and instill these systems and these chaotic, disruptive waves into them? What people would have a news organization on that they know is lying and brainwashing people, right? And continue to let that go, right? What kind of people would continue in this day and age to stop literature, to ban books, all right? Now, I don't understand. I didn't understand what that way of thinking was, but I was looking at it from the perspective of a soul. All right. The only way that you can justify the atrocities that were committed in the past, the present, and to this day, even with the information we have at our disposal to counter this, only way you can do that is to think that this is something indigenous to this group, this their ability to cohabitate, commingle, to resonate their souls with other souls. It's not, they don't have the rhythm to do that. All right. The rhythm is disruptive, which is why they're a little chaotic looking when they dance or play music or do anything or interact with others that are not disruptive like their waves. All right. When you see an organization of blacks, Hispanics, stuff like that, it's a diverse thing of waves. You know what I mean? You even have white people in there. Everybody, a diverse symphony of waves. All right. But look at these other organizations. They look to their left and right and it's all one wave. And it's been that way forever. Inbreeding, keeping our genetics pure. You know what I mean? They're really resistant to their waves resonating with other waves. All right. This is a detriment. I mean, no matter how you look at it, scientifically, if you do that, all right, not only are you disruptive and cause chaos everywhere, but you decrease your genetic diversity, which means you get sick more. All right. Which means you are prone to DNA and viretic and bacterial things more so. All right, we know this. Like, so I'm trying to figure out like it's got to be the waves. It's got to be that lack of soul, that lack of rhythm. All right, it's got to be that basic principle that keeps pushing this. It has to be genetic to this organization of people, predominantly. All right, now if you're not a hit dog, please don't holler. All right. But if you find this interesting, and you probably have something to put into this as to try to justify the callousness, the soullessness of it. You know what I mean? People always talk about, well, find you a big black guy because they so safe. If you go into a black church, no matter what color you are welcome. You're not looked at strange. You know what I mean? Like, our resonance with people has always been great unless disrupted by something else. All right. So, but anyway, thank you guys for watching. I was just sharing a thought because I was honestly trying to figure out, how is it possible, man, with all of these, with everything designed to bring us so close together, is there still people willing and with a desire to have these stupid ass views? Like, and please understand, people, when you call us the N word, again, we don't get upset. You know, there's some people who get upset, but in essence, we find it to be stupid, juvenile. It just shows who you are. Okay. Now, if we choose, however we choose to react as a result of that, that's, you know, kind of what happened. But please, please, please understand, people, white people, when you call us the N word, most of us are laughing at your stupidity. It's not hurting us, especially if you're not signing our check. We really, like, it just shows, it shows a side of you that you probably didn't think that you was gonna have seen in that interaction. I'm put it that way. It shows how beneath us you truly are. That's how it is. It doesn't make, to me, if you was to call me that, I instantly see you as that crazy white lady on a bench, homeless and worthy of my pity. I think that's what most black people feel about it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And as always, peace, recycle, and say the whales. I wonder what I'm finna put on my board today, man. I wonder what's